Imagine this. Cannons roar, a nation is torn in two, and the call for soldiers rings out across the land. But which state was the very first to answer that call? It wasn't one of the old, established eastern states. It was a brand new state on the frontier, a place many still considered the Wild West. This is the incredible story of how Minnesota became the first state to volunteer for the Union Army in the American Civil War. So, let's set the scene. It's April 1861. The Confederate attack on Fort Sumter has just plunged the United States into chaos. President Abraham Lincoln knows he needs to act fast. He needs an army to preserve the Union. Back in Washington, D.C., news of the attack spreads like wildfire. And who happens to be in the capital at that exact moment? None other than Minnesota's governor, Alexander Ramsey. Now, you have to understand, Minnesota was the baby of the family. It had only been a state for about 3 years. Most people probably couldn't even find it on a map. But Governor Ramsey was a man of decisive action. He didn't wait for a formal request. He didn't check with the folks back home. The moment he heard that Fort Sumter had fallen, he marched straight to the War Department and met with Secretary of War Simon Cameron. Without any hesitation, Ramsey made an extraordinary offer. He pledged a regiment of 1,000 men from Minnesota to the Union cause. Think about that. Before any other governor from any other state had officially offered a single soldier, this leader from the distant frontier promised 1,000. He then went directly to the White House to tell President Lincoln himself. Lincoln, deeply moved by this swift and loyal gesture from the young state, gratefully accepted. This wasn't just a symbolic gesture, it was a powerful statement. It showed that loyalty to the Union wasn't confined to the original colonies. It burned brightly even in the newest states on the edge of the wilderness. When the formal call for 75,000 volunteers went out, Minnesota was already on it. The message was telegraphed back home, and the response was immediate and overwhelming. Men from all walks of life, farmers, lumberjacks, shopkeepers, and new immigrants, rushed to enlist. This first group of volunteers would become the legendary 1st Minnesota Infantry Regiment. Their story is one of incredible bravery and sacrifice. At battles like Bull Run and, most famously, at Gettysburg, they earned a reputation for their fierce determination and unwavering courage. At Gettysburg, in a desperate charge against overwhelming odds, the 1st Minnesota suffered one of the highest casualty rates of any single unit in the entire war. A sacrifice that helped save the Union line at a critical moment. And it all started with that one moment, with one governor in the right place at the right time, making a bold promise on behalf of his new state. Minnesota, barely on the map, stepped up first and set an example for the entire nation. It's a piece of history that shows how deep the roots of loyalty can run, and how even the newest, most remote places can play a pivotal role in shaping a nation's destiny. The story of Minnesota's first volunteers is a testament to the idea that when the call of duty sounds, heroes can emerge from the most unexpected of places. Minnesota is still following in the footsteps of its predecessors and has one of the largest and most active Army National Guard units in the nation. They call themselves the Red Bulls. So, the next time you think about the Civil War, remember the frontier state that didn't wait to be asked. Remember the 1,000 men pledged before anyone else, and the incredible legacy they left behind. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden gems from history. See you in the next video of Minnesota Stuff.